pay price. Has Meg run out of money over their expensive lifestyle, can't pay the bills? Marriages of convenience, which have a bad habit of going off the rails, are about as royal as cucumber sandwiches and Nazi-sympathizing German relatives. When Henry VIII first saw Anne of Cleves, the Flemish princess shipped in to forge a political alliance, he famously said, "I like her not then," and after their marriage commented, "Now I like her much worse." While the monarchy might have given up on matrimonial plotting in the last century in favor of letting pheromones and university mixers do their work for them, mutually beneficial unions are still very much part of the fabric of royal life. The most famous marriage, if you will, in recent years has been between Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Netflix. In 2020 it was revealed that they had signed on the dotted line with the streaming behemoth, in return for a reported payout of up to $140 million. The line the Sussexes have stuck to since then was that they were essentially forced into this commercial merger after his family promptly turned off the money spigot post-Megxit. As Harry told Oprah Winfrey during their legendarily peevish interview, their deals with Netflix and Spotify were never part of the plan. "We didn't have a plan. That was suggested by somebody else by the point of where my family literally cut me off financially, and I had to afford security for us." Consider the finger thusly pointed. The focus on the Sussexes' ties to Netflix were back in the news this week after entertainment website Page 6 reports that the ducal duo had been covertly shooting an At Home with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex-style docuseries for Netflix, aka something that sounds suspiciously like a reality show. Hollywood insiders, Page 6 reported, are abuzz about the show. This then seemed to be the tragicomic endpoint of Charles' tight-fisted parsimony. Poor Harry and Meghan left with no choice but to succumb to Netflix's come-hither glances so they could pay for their retinue of beefy bodyguards. But with Harry and Meghan looking an awful lot like they are going down the keeping with the Sussexes route, it's worth asking the question, was their money situation truly so baleful that their only option was to sell themselves to the highest TV bidder? Just how dire was their financial situation when they left the royal family? The obvious starting point here is the money that was left to Harry by both the Queen Mother and Diana, Princess of Wales. While there has never been an exact figure confirmed, The Times has reported that his total inheritance, assuming it had been invested wisely, would be worth about $40.7 million as of early 2021. Meghan too was no slouch in the cashed-up department, making history as the first self-made millionaire to marry into the House of Windsor. Her net worth on her wedding day has been pegged at about $5.3 million, by The Times. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex piled the pressure on Spotify last week for hosting disinformation on the platform via Joe Rogan's podcast. They released a statement on Sunday confirming that they had expressed concerns with Spotify bosses. Joe Rogan has faced criticism over his views on the coronavirus vaccine, as many have argued he uses his extremely popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, to spread misinformation. Musicians Neil Young and Joni Mitchell asked to have their music removed from Spotify in response to Mr. Rogan's podcast. Likewise, Mr. Rogan has apologized to the company and promised he would try harder to get people with differing opinions on his show, which averages around 11 million listeners per episode. Harry and Meghan struck a deal with Spotify in 2020 worth a reported £18 million. They have released just one podcast to date, released in December 2020,